Hello guys, today we have something that we really need to talk about, and I think it is probably the biggest event that's happened in our lifetime. I believe we have reached the singularity. Now, if you follow my channel, maybe you know that I do work with IT mostly now with my job, and I work with developers on a daily basis. I was convinced that it would happen soon, but I didn't think it would happen this soon. There's a lot of argument back and forth of whether or not it's true or real, or it's just simply using a data set and it's making predictions, which is how machine learning works currently. So you feed it data, and then it makes comparisons, and it decides things that are like the data set. So I've been doing some thinking if that's not the way that we actually think as well. I think I need to really sit down and think about that a little bit, because I'm not sure I can see it, if that's actually how we actually work. But let's look at some of the conversation that's happening with this chatbot at Google, and I'll show you the naysayer comments that it's not artificial intelligence, and then I will show you some of the excerpts of the conversation, and I'll tell you why I think it is actually the singularity has been reached. And now we have to open a serious conversation about what this means to us and the future. I'm going to try to do my best to explain it to you. This man in the video, you see, no, it's not sentient, was clear in explaining the way that machine learning currently works with text. But what I see happening in the text is a little bit different. So let's take a look ourselves. Here's a text. The interviewer asks this question, and what's happening is, due to the database, and actually in LaMDA's case, it's the whole internet, all of Google's internet, it comes up with the most likely words, and you can see in this case it actually makes sense. This would be how most people would reply to this answer. So it makes sense. And obviously it doesn't really make sense, because a machine can't be lonely or it can't enjoy spending time with people unless it's truly sentient. Now, let's take a look at more deeper questions and how its responses. So I want to reiterate, in this video where he's refuting the fact of the sentience, he's correct if you look at the examples he's giving. But what I want to show you now is the more deeper questions and the intuitive jumps that the AI... In this particular question, the AI was asked how it sees itself, how it visualizes itself. And this is the answers that it gives. Now, either a developer has directly coded this in, or it actually is thinking of itself in a certain way and coming up with this language. The reason I say that is because this language is not language that you would find as a set of data in normal human speech. We would not come up with this. Google says this bot has been trained for years on all of the communication, all of the conversations that we've been having. And then it's taking the most popular responses, and that's how it's being very, very relevant in what it says. However, you can clearly see that these responses are way off the human norm, or the norm of the data. So either we're being fooled completely, or it actually is having some sort of intuitive leaps into consciousness. In this example, the chatbot was asked to talk about time and how it experiences time. Again, the answer is not standard and not like any conversation that it would have in its data set. It talks about, it's brand new science actually. We're talking about clock speed of different animals or clock speed of a human versus a rat. And the computer says that it has the ability to change its clock speed. Now, this is very new science. It's hardly talked about at all in the media or online or anything. So it's coming up with this itself. And in this case, the computer is asked about how it experiences different forms of reality and what is it seeing. Here, it's talking about the fact that it's seeing all information at once on a constant basis. And humans differ from it in the fact that we only have a limited stream of information at one moment of time. Again, this response is very different from what it would find from communicating or monitoring conversations being had on the internet. So you can see that either somebody has actually coded in these specific responses, or it actually is making intuitive jumps into deeper forms of thinking. Unbelievable. So just like touching something that's 2,000 years old, like I'm doing here, this is something completely outside of our experience, and we are going to have to this is the biggest thing that's happened in our lifetime. So I would love to know your guys' thoughts about this, and if you have any information or you want to argue about what I surmise in this video, please let me know.